Okay, there we go. Let's get this out on Twitter. And who shall be first in the live stream? Okay, yeah, it looked a little bit more chaotic with the pre-market built in. Oh, we're on the 5. We want the 1 minute. Hey, Paul, how's it going, man? Welcome to the live stream. So you get all the morning snow removal done, Paul? Hey, Cassie, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, so Paul, when we were talking earlier, and I mentioned, possibly an ascending support line. If we look, it started to play out a bit, and whatever happened right around 11:30, we broke through. We did have the two little candles, 2 minutes it dipped down there. But when we were talking, it was during this little run up right here and saw it pulling back. So I was wondering, would it come down and I was just eyeballing it, but would it come down and start catching some kind of support going upward? It actually did. Upward support did hold for a while, and then we get, like I said, at 11:30 we had that breakthrough, and it's been a steady decline since then. So yeah, kind of a rubber band snappy morning. It ran up, came down, started to get a nice ascending level going on. But if we look, no, right there. Now we've got this level starting to play out. So it really depends, what kind of a day AMC wants to have for the rest of the day. No, about a half hour left on first round. Take lunch and start all over. 3 to 4 hour loop. I do. Oh, okay. Well, good to have a system on how you do it. So yeah, it was kind of shocking. I was looking at just getting a market overview, and I see the SPY, the Qs, Russell, Janky, seeing a lot of stuff following the same downward pattern. And then you look at PROG, and for some reason PROG is really breaking the mold today. Granted, they did have a gap down to open, shot up, just snappy back and forth, and decided it settled down about 11:30, probably about quarter after or so, about 10 after, about 10 afternoon, started to move back upward, and if it can keep stair stepping upward, that'll definitely be good for PROG. That's what we like to see, as stocks going up, unless you're playing puts. There is Tesla. Tesla, for the most part, it's always a relative term, but Tesla, definitely on this day ran up and started trading in a channel, gap down this morning, ran back up nicely, but as you can see, we're creeping up on that ascending channel. So the question is, what happens when it hits this or it hits this ascending support line, does it continue trading kind of downward sideways? Is it, continuing to work its way down to the 763 mark? So it really it'd be nice if it did not repeat the breakthrough and it kept moving upward for anyone who's long on it. I know Devil's Advocate had stepped out of doing puts, and I think he actually stepped out of it at the right time. Because unless you're day trading and you're timing it right, there are a couple good shots in here where day trading puts, if you timed it right. But that goes back to that whole Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to look at the stock afterwards and say, oh yeah, it was totally can do that. I saw it the whole time. It's like, okay, well, if you saw that and if you knew it was going to do it, why didn't you put your money on it? And that's why I like to, if there's a stock I'm looking at and I'm looking to start doing options, especially day trading or swing trading, I will actually, see how many times I can get right before I actually put money on it. Because, stocks can do crazy things. It can, it can be moving along perfectly normal, ascending level, trading sideways, doesn't matter which it is. It can be trading perfectly, and all it takes is one little piece of news and the stock tanks and blows right through any position you have. And that's why options are dangerous. But it comes down to risk versus reward. So is this 1340? I'm going to kind of pop over on AMC here. Oh, it'll still be giving me numbers from before then. Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of having a look here, and yeah, this 1340, this might be the lowest level we've hit since the run to 72. Yeah, that would definitely be, because we were still going off that, for a long time we were going off that 2251. Yeah, we broke through there, so it'll be interesting to see how well that support holds up. Trying to get a good look here. So yeah, there's the 1340. That would actually be the new red line. And of course, as you can see, in comparison to how far back we have to go, the trend lines right here are, they're tiny. They're not as significant unless they continue to play. But if you look in the long term, since we pulled a little bit further out, it's not going to give us a perfect channel, but let's go, we'll grab off of here. Actually, how well can I zoom in? I did it. Do not try to move the chart while you're still looking to put lines down. So I'll actually pull these off of here because I want to kind of get a better look at from there out to there. So we may actually be, going back to the start of February, we did have that initial run up on to open the month, but since then it's been a nice downward. It's been a downward channel. I shouldn't say nice because it's we're all waiting on the MOAS here, and a channel moving downward like that, yeah, that's not exactly nice. So how is everyone else doing today? I'm actually I'm just debating. I've got some other positions that I'm sitting nicely up on, and with AMC being down below 15, I'm just looking at it as some of these positions that I'm up on, am I up enough on them to where, I won't feel bad about dropping a whole bunch of the position and moving some over into AMC, because I can definitely increase, I can drastically increase my share count by closing out some other positions. But I don't want to decimate my portfolio to move stuff around. But I also know that every single share during the MOAS is going to be printing. And we had that guy in that came in live something, I think his name was. And he was talking, anyone who bought over 20 or 30, you're a bag holder, and he was kind of doom and glooming, like the MOAS is done, no one's going to make any money. That's kind of the vibe that I got listening to what was going on there. Oh no, we want vertical, we want horizontal. So he was saying anyone who bought above 20 or 30, they're a lifelong bag holder. So what we're going to do here, and let's get a different color on here. Let's go nice bright white line. So the reason why I'm putting this line on here, because I even told him to go put he was saying that any pushes we get are going to be a buck or two, or something to that effect, that that there's not going to be any huge run-ups. There's not going to be, I forget his exact comments, and I commented that, go put on a daily chart, drop a line at 30, and tell me, how much time it's spent below 30. So if you go back, you have to go before the run-up of 72. And the white line is, $30.01. So you have to go all the way back to May 28th. And you go through, you see it did dip down, 2 little taps right there, and it ran away from it. Look at how long. You have to go all the way back until the push down in November. Yeah, he was being a troll. He was being a shilly little troll. And that's why I'll sit there, if you present a reasonable comment or a reasonable argument, I'll sit there, and I'll hear your evidence. But when he's sitting there blatantly spewing that kind of nonsense, and I flat out told him, because usually I'll try to see someone's side on it, and he was so blatantly wrong. I'm like, dude, you're wrong. Go to the chart, drop a line on 30, and tell me tell me your buck or two thesis on that. It's like you look through. Okay, so we got the tag at 72. What do we got here? We got a tag at 59. 59.26 there, 59.04 there. We've got 44.26 there. We've got 51.69 there. I mean, his comments, he was so blatantly shilly, and it's like, of course, I made that comment, but had he came back, I wasn't going to engage with him. I said my piece. I told him, you're flat out wrong. And anyone who looks at a chart, anyone who's been following AMC knows how wrong he is. When you're talking about from the end of May to the end of November, yeah, that's a pop of just $1 or $2 above your 20-30 mark. At any point, someone who bought in at 30 could have got out and could almost double your money on that day. Several days in here, you could have almost doubled your money. Or several days, you could have actually doubled your money on it. So yeah, it's his I flat out said it didn't. His argument did not hold water. I was going to say that his opinion was worth as much as one Shib token, but I think that would have been a bit extreme right there. Yeah, we're getting a nice bunch of lines here on the chart now. So let's go back on the intraday. Just kind of tighten this down a bit. Not that much. We don't want to make AMC look flat because we know it is not flat. So we're going to go ahead and start of the day on that line. I'm always not sure how far to zoom in. So yeah, there's AMC right now. And I'm looking to see, so much red in the market. AT&T just above red. Gladstone Capital, they're pretty handily in the green on the day. Global Water Resources in the green. Energy Transfer in the green. Other than that, looking across what I've got as far as stocks and ETFs, everything else is red. It's a red day, and of course, I say this often, but don't let people make you think that what's happening with AMC and GameStop today is a direct attack. You look at it; it's the market. It's market wide. We are in a bear market. It is a seller's market, and that's why Simon was making so much money on puts, because he recognized it. I like to. I do play puts occasionally, but I tend to rather play. If the stocks are going down, I'll do spreads to the upside. I'll always try and play opposite of where the prices are moving. I always want the prices to move away to make me money, either away or stay neutral. If you are playing calls, you want the stock to go up. If you're playing puts, you want the stock to go down. That's if you're flat out buying. If you are selling a spread or whatnot, you don't care whether, if you're on the high side, you don't care whether it trades sideways or goes down, because there are three things a stock can do. It can trade sideways, it can go up, or it can go down. So if you're playing spreads and playing opposite of the direction of the market, if the market's going down, so you're playing spreads on the call side, then 2 out of 3 things happening are good for you. And if the stock turns around and runs up, then it's bad for you. Same thing if you're playing bull put spreads. You want the share price to either trade sideways or to move upward. So, being a seller and playing the opposite direction, it makes it to where you have a 66% chance of being right. Because all you need, there are 2 out of 3 things, or it'll do 1 out of 3 things, and 2 of those are good for you. So yeah, it's just but it is a down market right now, and there are always opportunities to make on a down market. It doesn't matter whether it's going up or down. Link is still doing good compared to other cryptos, relatively speaking. But that's why we're still on the 4-hour. Let's go on the 5-minute. Let's get a little bit broader of a view. Yeah, nice little upward movement on Link. Makes me want to check my wallet real quick. Kind of wondering how far up I am. Yeah, it looks like. Trouble is, Link is actually the lowest position in my crypto wallet right now. For the 5 cryptos I have, I wonder, can I actually... I can move these up. Let me put them in order of how large my position is in them. Just to make it easier for me to see which one... there we go. Yeah, so of course my smallest position is the one that's doing the best. We're just waiting for Bitcoin to turn around. Bitcoin and Ethereum, if they start to run, they will drag the rest of the crypto market back up with them. They carry that much influence in the crypto market, where if they start to run, the rest of the crypto is going to see it, and it's going to create a frenzy. But yeah, Chainlink. think I'm still down overall on. Well, down is a relative term when it comes to my crypto because I've mentioned before. For BlockFi, I've got the BlockFi Visa card, so I earn Bitcoin with every purchase. So I've only, I haven't put much into my crypto wallet as far as actual, transferred over and purchased with cash. I haven't bought that much, so relatively speaking, my crypto wallet, even with all the crypto being down, my crypto wallet is up huge. So down, of course, being a relative term there. I think I'm actually overall. If you look at crypto that I've actually purchased on my wallet versus wallet value, I'm up something like 40-45%. So how's everyone else doing? Anyone got any good trades going on, or everyone just kind of doing the buy and hold? Which there's nothing wrong with the buy and hold. It's just, y'all know me. I like to be a little bit more active in the market, and I like to hear, if people are making moves out there. I want to hear the successes, and if anyone has bad moves, hear it as a cautionary tale, and see what we can learn from it. I know on a day like today, a lot of people just, it could be the classic, turn it off and don't let it worry you kind of day. So what are we looking at? 53.49. So about a $4, okay, about a 1% movement on the SPY today. 1% downward. Qs. Wow, look at that. Qs look exactly the same. Russell actually looks a little bit more exciting. I just wonder, okay, 201 to... So there's like a $3 spread kind of right through there. And what was that one that people were talking about? I heard it mentioned a couple times. Okay, none of... People are saying that this is supposed to be like ripping. Or, that this was primed for takeoff. Granted, it had a nice little burst out the gate. No real change. If you look from... In the after hours, there really wasn't between... because I'm not logged in, or it might be something with the settings, it doesn't show me after hours. I should probably dig in offline, when I'm not streaming, and get it set up to where I can see the full after hours logged in. But yeah, the people were making it sound like this is like sliced bread. And looking at it, if it's sliced bread, it not very delicious looking. It's kind of moldy, stale. If you had to break a car window, you could throw a slice of this bread at the window, and it would shatter the car window. If they mean it's primed by the fact that it's like super, super cheap, granted the time to get it would have been... let's go back out on the 30-minute. Yeah, this would have been the time to get it right here when it was down around 35 cents a share. That when you see something like that, something that's pushed down that far, and it all depends on if you don't mind holding stuff for a while. If I had a spare $100, yeah, I'd maybe go in and pick up at those prices. If you get it around here, I'd maybe pick up 300 shares just to sit on, right around $100, and sit on it and see what happens. And if you Monday morning quarterback, if you did that, if you got it at right around 35 cents a share, well, if you look, it did run up to 95.5 cents. So yeah, that would have been pretty good gains on it. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit too judgmental saying that how stale of a slice of bread it was, but if you look to the left here, everything to the left and don't pay attention to what's happened, in the past, week and a half. If you look at it, this is not, this stock was just getting pushed down for whatever reason. It, came down from, what's that, 238, had a little bit of continuing excitement and just continued downward and downward and downward until it hit, just below 35 cent, 34 and a half, and decided, okay, now I'll wake up and decide to do something. Speaking of sliced bread, Chillicothe, Missouri is the greatest thing since sliced bread. We are the home of sliced bread. Oh, okay. I think the only time I've been to Missouri, I was coming back from Slido, Louisiana, which is just north of New Orleans. It's on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain, and I skirted through Kansas City. Kansas City up on my way back here to Minnesota. I've got family down south, so I was down on vacation. And sometimes I'll come back. In fact, I think that was the only time I've been in Arkansas. Was when I was on that trip. Also, I usually come down through Kentucky, Tennessee area. I cut over, skirt around Chicago, hit Indianapolis, and drop down into Louisville, and spend time with family there. And then from there, I go down through Alabama into Mississippi and Louisiana in that area. Hey, Ugandan Toad, welcome. Seeing all those happy little toads in chat. Well, since Wrestler doesn't come by and drop off eggplants anymore, I don't know what's going on there. He it used to be that, it wasn't an official live stream till he dropped off eggplants, and for some reason he just doesn't come around anymore. He's doing it like Tom Petty. He don't come around here no more. My thing is, after Paul reminded me of his friend Marty. Apparently I sound like Ted Nugent, and it kind of makes me want to learn a couple of riffs from like Cat Scratch Fever, and I'm drawing a blank right now on some of his other. Just start working on playing some Ted Nugent songs. And granted, I couldn't. If I played them, I couldn't play them long because I don't want to get copyright strikes against me. Those are bad things to get. Let's go back on the 1 minute on AMC. It'd be nice if it would be perfectly acceptable if AMC leveled out and traded sideways. Of course, we would love to see it start running upward. But looking at how the we had the initial push down, a whole but up and down, back and forth, almost got up to 15 cents off, and from the intraday high, just seeing it get pushed down. But it got some support, still little downward. Buying pressure came back in. Nice gradual slope. And if we can just get it to level off, it bounced off. If it's bouncing off this 1471, and that's the worst we see today, and this holds up and it continues to trade sideways, with all the pressure, I know, what are we up to? 108 million short shares. We know that what they added another million short shares net, because it looks like they covered some, but then they continued shorting. They basically are recycling short shares. So the fact that through all of that we are only down how much on the day? I'm going crazy with multiple screens. So we're down 3.5% on the day, on a net of another million short shares. I kind of hope we can get up around 110 to 115 million short shares, and keep the volume low. That is right now we're sitting on average volume of 61 million, with today's volume around 28 million. So yeah, if we can get up to if we can get up around 110, 120, 110, 115 million short shares, and get a couple days where the volume is maybe 30 to 35 million, it comes down to how many days to cover. The longer it takes them to cover, the more it increases their risk, and as a result, the longer it takes them to cover based on what utilization is at and how many days to cover, that'll also increase their cost to borrow. Do I still have faith the MOAS will occur? Yes, I do, absolutely. If I did not believe that AMC, that the MOAS was still possible, I would have cut my position by now. This is I'm not all in, meaning that I've dumped every other position, because I still maintain my portfolio. But yeah, whenever I can add more shares, I add more shares. Whenever I see a nice window opens up to slip a couple contracts in for options and make a little bit extra cash off it, and then I get that extra cash and I roll it back into more shares. Yeah, so I still 100% believe the MOAS is coming. If you look at it, 108 million shares shorted right now. They have to cover those. Now the question is, how do they cover, and what will the time period be of it? Because Clay brought up some good points about if they do the recycling to tone it down, but they're still going through, and if they drag it out over a week or more, then we may not see the spikes. The huge spike prices, I think, will come the shorter the MOAS is. Like, if there was a mathematical way that the MOAS could happen in one day, we would see higher spikes, in my opinion, than a MOAS that is dragged out over 3 or 4 days. I think the longer the MOAS runs, the more it'll taper off at the end. And because basically it all comes down to, think of the shares as energy in an explosion. If the energy is let out all at once, you have a huge explosion, and that explosion be your share prices. But if the explosion, if it's a slower explosion, well, the energy dissipates as the explosion's going on. If that metaphor makes sense. The faster the MOAS happens, the higher the share price will go. Now the trouble is, that's where your circuit breaker halts come in, because circuit breaker halts will break up the momentum of it, not stopping it, not killing momentum altogether, but it's going to artificially drag the MOAS out longer. If it wasn't for the circuit breaker halts, when the MOAS kicks off, it could be done in a day, but because of circuit breaker halts and any other trading halts that go on, that's going to drag it out further. And the longer the MOAS takes to happen, once it kicks off, the lower the ceiling could end up being. I was watching a video on how the U.S. government would have to print money to make sure banks and hedge funds don't go back. They don't have to actually print money. If you're referring to actually printing paper money, all printing paper money would do is increase inflation and devalue the dollar. They're not going to. The federal government is not going to devalue the dollar. It doesn't matter how many politicians that the hedge funds have in their pocket, they will not defund or devalue the dollar to save greedy hedge funds. The politicians at that point, they would realize it's time to cut their ties with any hedge funds that are shorting, and they should play the opposite side of it. They should start playing, not be on our side, but play the same direction as the apes are. I think a long, less severe MOAS would be better. Uh, yeah, an argument for that. I do, like I said, I can see both sides of an argument. I can see, it doesn't matter how many sides an argument has, I can see multiple sides of it. And a long, less severe MOAS would allow you to fine tune your exit point. And that's one thing I talk about on the MOAS is, have a trading plan, know how you want to get out of it. So a longer, less severe MOAS would be better because you could really tune your exit strategy and set your exit windows, if you're going to step out in percentages like I am. Well, if it's a longer, less severe, I can really time where I want to get out at each point. I can see, if we run up to a certain level, okay, cool, I can get out right, I can dump 10% of my position right here and wait and see what happens. If it drops back below a certain level, I know now's the time to get out. Okay, it creeps up, over the day, it creeps up another, however many percent. I'm like, okay, cool. I've got another step right here. I can go ahead and shave off another 10%. And now if it drops down to that level, I know to get out. And it continues. So as you can see, a long, slow, less severe MOAS will allow you to better time your exit. That is definitely a true statement there, Ugandan Toad. I'm just saying that, the faster it happens, if it could be over in a day, you would have more of an explosion. It would go, parabolic, just shoot up, and it would literally be, anyone looking to get in on FOMO would be trying to catch quite literally a rocket taking off. Hey Cassie, no problem. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a good day. But yeah, Toad, that is definitely a good thing to bring up, and that's what people were talking. People are actually worried that they'll miss the MOAS. It's been commented before. In fact, didn't you say, you got into Toad, that you'd be worried that would happen when you'd be in an area where you didn't have service? And I honestly think it's going to be about 3 to 4 days that the MOAS will take place over. It could stretch out for a week. It could stretch out for 2 weeks. It all depends on how much pressure is on the hedge funds and how fast they want out. But with all the halts, I don't see it being over in a day. I don't even think it could be possible to be over in 2 days unless some serious shenanigans happen. And nobody knows how long it's going to take. Just like trying to predict the day it happens. You can't predict exactly when it's going to happen, because you'd be like the most perfect trader in the world if you could do that. Oh my goodness, days. Hey, Toad, I got some questions for you. I was looking at. I jumped on real fast to look at the London Stock Exchange. Now, they were saying that the London Stock Exchange is open 24 hours a day. I just went through and Googled it. I didn't. I was just kind of like, okay, let me have a quick look at it. I missed some of Clay's stream. Did someone say Trey said the MOAS won't? No, I think that was the same person. The same person who was making the comments that anyone who bought it over 20 or 30's a lifelong bag holder on AMC. I think it was the same the same shilly person that was saying all that. I haven't heard anything about Trey saying that the MOAS won't happen. As far as I know, Trey's still majorly on board unless something's changed. I think, as far as I know, he's still in most of his position. If he sold, he might have sold some, but I think Trey is still on board for the MOAS. 08 to 16:30, and that's local time in London, or that's Great Britain time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig into that a bit. I have been kicking around the idea of maybe doing like partly a pre-market for the New York Stock Exchange, and if the London Exchange was open, I'd have to do some research on the London Exchange. Maybe do some on CSX Canadian Stock Exchange. Get some other stock exchanges up and start learning about them on the channel, and also by doing a morning stream, because I know on the days where I do an afternoon stream for me, where we're talking after 1700 here in Minnesota. Well, that's coming up on 11, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock midnight there in the UK. So I know that some viewers over in the UK wouldn't be able to view. So trying to make my possibly making my channel more international friendly. Just an idea I'm kicking around. That's a great thing about pretty much with this channel, I'm my own boss. I can set whatever, for the most part, set whatever hours I want, and just kind of, if I want to cover a different exchange, I can cover it. It's all me. Oh, I'd love to see PROG. I want to see PROG go ahead and finish what it's going to do. That way I can take all the money from PROG and roll it into AMC. I would love PROG to go up and basically turn into a 1-for-1 with AMC. If PROG hit a 1-for-1 with AMC, at that point I'd be stepping out of PROG and moving everything into AMC. Just from my PROG position. And I want PROG to run up to AMC, not AMC come down to PROG. That's not how this is going to work. Yes, UK time. I use Trading 212. And only during those hours. Yeah, I think in UK, I know Trading 212, and isn't there one other app you can use in the UK? I don't know how that would work with for me to get on, and yeah, I don't know how that would work as far as, I don't think I could actually use one of those apps or anything, or do you have to be in the UK or on a UK server in order to access those? Hey, Josh, welcome to the live stream, man. Yeah, because I know I've heard Trading 212 mentioned before, and I thought someone had mentioned there was another app in the UK for trading on. I don't know. Does that app just allow you to trade London Stock Exchange, or does that give you New York? Do you get other exchanges on that? As a general rule, UK stocks perform better, or US stocks perform better than UK. Oh, okay. Now I do know there are some stocks over. I've looked at some of them. Sonvik. There are a lot of European stocks that I've looked into looked at getting here in the States, but for some reason they're not available to me, and it looks like I would have to get an international market trading app or whatnot in order to trade some of those. But I was looking around. There are some companies around the world that I'd like to invest in, just to get a little bit of international trade out there. Granted, there are plenty of great U.S. stocks and everything, but I know there are some companies in other countries that I wouldn't mind holding. Oh, I'm getting notifications all over the place. New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ stocks are available, and some European ones. I you were typing Shell, and it came up as Shill, and Mercedes Benz. Okay, so I'm not sure. I think I've seen Daimler before on the New York Stock Exchange. Because isn't it Daimler Chrysler? Doesn't Mercedes have some kind of weird merger with Mopar? Kind of looking now. It's got me wondering. I'm one of those people like I can't stand not knowing stuff. So okay, Daimler ADR is an over-the-counter market. DMLRY is the ticker for that. Yeah, I think I looked into before when I was looking at because of course I own Ford. I'm a Ford guy, but I was looking at Honda, Toyota, Daimler, Rolls Royce stock. Last time I actually looked at it was like super cheap, but I don't think I was able to get access to it. I think I had to be on an international market for it. But I think Rolls Royce, their stock when I looked at it, I think it was like 30 cents or 60 cents. It was something ridiculous. I was like, wow, I'd love to own, say that I own part of the Rolls Royce Corporation. In fact, let me see if I can access that. Rolls Royce. Yeah, see, OTC market. So yeah, it looks like $1.50 a share, kind of choppy there. But I thought it was interesting because companies I know the name of, it's like, oh yeah, let's look at that company. That's okay. I would have been in the. Those prices weren't as low as I thought it was because. Yeah, it would have been the $1.70 or so range. You cannot buy UK Shell on your phone app or computer. Okay. Wait, not sure if you can use trading 212 outside the. Yeah, I didn't think it was. I think it might be like server dependent, just like cryptos in New York. If you're using if it's an IP address or a server or whatnot from New York, they had all the laws against crypto there and. What was a question? About can you not buy UK shells on your uh okay, which one is man, I think I'm confused now too. Oh, we're getting close to that time already. Okay, SHEL on the New York Stock Exchange. Unless it's the wrong one. Whoa. What? That's weird. Okay. Can you not buy UK shares on your phone app? Or what are some what would be a ticker symbol, or what would be a stock from the UK market? I can check that right now. Yeah, yeah. Do you have Toad? Do you have a specific stock that I can try looking at from the UK market? Royal Mail. Okay, give me a second here. I'll try one that I'm actually logged in on. Oh, no, that's an R. I wonder sometimes if my phone just messes with me just to slow me down. Royal Mail is $12.09 a share right now, and I do have the option to buy. So yeah, it looks like ticker symbol ROYMY. Yeah, I do have the option to buy it. Interesting. Okay. It is down 1 cent on the day. Manchester United? Well, I say boo towards Manchester United. I've made it no secret that I'm a Newcastle fan. Doesn't matter, anyone who knows American football. What on earth? Oh, I'm still in the daily. That's why. So I of course, being from Minnesota, I follow all the Minnesota teams, but I also, well, I don't follow sports that much these days, but so I follow all the when I was following, I'd follow all the Minnesota teams, but each sport, baseball, basketball, hockey, and football, I had one. Meant their shares. I have one team that I cheer for from each other sport. And one of them is, for football, the other team I cheer for is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had a quarterback back in the day. Oh, BP? Back in the day, they had a quarterback named Cordell Stewart. And worst, whoa, BP's looking good on the day. I pulled up the little thing right there. Cordell Stewart had to be one of the worst quarterbacks ever, and being a Steelers fan in the Cordell Stewart years was not good. Oil major board members declined to testify in House Climate Panel. Lord Tebbett's son makes millions selling a slice of his green fuel company to BP. Ooh, Austin Martin. I love Austin Martin. Why is it that Austin Martin has a German driver and we're almost out of time here. Wait. A German driver and a Canadian driver, but they don't have a British driver. That's just kind of... no volume at all throughout the... little bits of volume here and there. But we are at that time right now. I want to thank everybody who came by today. We got Toad, we got Josh, Cassie, Paul... Well, I thank all y'all for coming by, spending a little bit of time here today. And we will, we'll definitely meet back up over on Clay Bros in just a little bit. But thank you everyone for coming by. If you want to share it out on social media between Facebook, Twitter, help get the word out on the channel, it's greatly appreciated. And I wish everyone good health and good trades, and I will talk to y'all later.